I think the college is due for a change in leadership.
That incident in Morthal was just a misunderstanding, no matter what the guards claim. Not within society, no. Many who practice within the School of Conjuration do so on their own, secretly. Thalion is the only one I know who is public about what he does. He was once my teacher here, but left the college years ago. He didn't like the Archmage, hated dealing with him, hated having to answer to him. Thalion said he hated what this place was becoming, so he just left. Arin found a note on his desk, and that was it. I understand he settled down in Hjalmarch, and his presence there caused something of a problem. Ah, that, yes. The group prior to yours has disappeared entirely. It's possible that there was less than the necessary amount of oversight. That's still being looked into. But we've had no contact with them for quite some time now. Arniel wondered if perhaps they'd somehow managed to get themselves lost in the Outer Realms, but I think that's giving them too much credit. I hadn't really considered it in terms of time. I suppose it's been at least a month. Let me think. What were they working on? As I recall, Ysra was trying to improve flame cloak spells to better work in Skyrim's harsh environment. Elos Tai was practicing illusion spells. She was having trouble with the calm spells, I believe, but only ever worked with skeevers. And then there's Borvir and Rundi, twins, though they rarely agreed on anything. Those two boys were obsessed with mead, convinced they could concoct something to compete with Honningbrew. Something about using frost magic to chill the mead for a certain period of time. I felt it was a waste, but the Archmage let them proceed. Spells and incantations for those with the talent to cast them. Now, if you'll excuse me. There are few places where one can pursue my type of work without fear of persecution. That incident in Morthal was just a misunderstanding, no matter what the guards claim.
It's lies. All of it. I don't care what she told you. It's all lies. Feralda, don't act like she didn't say anything. I know her, and I know what she's been up to. My problem with her? She's the one who has a problem with me. She's threatened by me, by my skill as a wizard, by my elegance and posture, by my superior good looks. But she is not going to get the better of me. Oh no, I won't let it get to me one bit. That's what she's after. She's trying to undermine my confidence, make me doubt myself. Well, it won't work, I tell you. It's not enough that you've stolen the spotlight with this eye thing. Now you're looking for the auger. I'm not sure what you're playing at, but you do well to remember your place around here. Until next time. If you're working on any experiments, please clean up after yourself.
There are few places where one can pursue my type of work without fear of persecution.
Eve, let me give you a bit of advice. If you want to work on something that's not officially allowed, don't tell anyone you're doing it. You need something you're not officially supposed to have? You come see me. You tell anyone that I told you, and I'll fry you from the inside out. Got it? There are some experiments the college frowns on, if they're aware of them, of course. Oh my, how precious. Onmund is too afraid to deal with me himself, and so he's sent you. I'll make this very simple for you. All my trades are final. Onmund knew this ahead of time and went through with it anyway. So, there's nothing more to be said. Yes, you see, the thing is, I'm not concerned with everyone's best interest. I find I'm only concerned with my own. I've already made it very clear that all of my trades are final. Look how persistent you are. Charming, really. Onmund gave up the first time I said no, but not you. All right, I'll tell you a little story. Let's pretend for a moment that a certain individual was looking to acquire a particular staff. Let's also pretend that he traded some valuable items for said staff. And it was only later that it was realized that this individual might misuse such a staff. The resulting disaster would reflect quite poorly on everyone involved. Are you following me? You're not very good at this, are you? Look, I traded a staff to someone and found out later that was a bad idea, so I'd like the staff back. Understand now? It's an entirely different situation. I don't expect you to comprehend the nuances of these matters. Regardless, I'm making you a very simple offer. You get me the staff and I give you Onmund's precious amulet. Do we have a deal? Yes. I thought we'd gotten past that bit already. Onmund's amulet in exchange for my staff. Finally, we have an agreement. I look forward to having it back soon. The sooner the better, in fact. Shh. All right, let's not overdo it. Meet me in my quarters.
Enchanting services are one of the few things that keep us in touch with the rest of Skyrim.
If there are any problems, let me know. It's my job to keep things running smoothly.
I'm working on some very important research, I assure you.
Even with the college's laid-back attitude, there are still some things that are off-limits. There are some experiments the college frowns on, if they're aware of them, of course. Purposely killing your fellow college members is a bad idea. I'd advise against it. Theft and assault can get you into trouble as well. As for research, well, a sufficient explanation will cover almost anything. If you're going to need live test subjects for your experiments, it's easier to do that off of college grounds. I hope you've got some coin. Let's just take a look then. All right, then. If you ever need something, especially something hard to come by, let me know. Oh, no, that won't do at all. Not my problem, not even a little. Take it to Tolf, dear. He's supposed to be looking after you lot. All right, then.
I'm working on some very important research, I assure you. The exact nature of my research is a secret, I'm afraid, but it really is quite valuable.
No one's heard from the Physic Order in so many years.
It's always encouraging to see the younger generations embracing education. Well, yes. This is rather embarrassing, but it seems I've misplaced something. I can't find my alembic. I suppose I could use another one, but... well, it sounds silly, but mine has sentimental value. If you happen to see it, would you mind bringing it to me? My alembic. I need it for some research and can't seem to find it. Until next time. The college will be here for you no matter what. We always look after our own. Education is never appreciated until after the fact. Young people never understand this. The key to wards is that they take time to charge. Not long, but you can't start casting with a fireball coming at you. Also, if your ward isn't negated by an incoming spell, it will recharge itself after a moment or two. Just be careful. Casting wards requires constant concentration, and you can easily find yourself drained of your magical reserves. At this very moment? No. However, well, I've been working on something. An improvement on the Ebony Flesh spell. I've made progress, but then hit a snag. I think perhaps you could help. I need dragon scales, and not just any dragon scales. As I've said, I made some progress using the essence of dragon scales, but they're just not quite potent enough. My knowledge of Skyrim's history is far from complete, but I did some research and discovered two things. First, there are ancient references to dragon heart scales. What little I could learn suggests they may be what I need. Second, there are stories of a dagger called Calvozine's Fang, said to be sharp enough to carve individual scales off a dragon. First, you'll need to retrieve the dagger, then use it to carve a few scales off a dragon. Presumably a deceased one. That would be wonderful. I'll be sure and have everything ready. This is exciting, isn't it? Not much, I'm afraid. It was named Calvozine's Fang after the dragon worshipped by this particular sect of the cult. They were said to be quite fond of ritual sacrifices. So fond, in fact, that the high priest spent a great deal of time sharpening the dagger. That way, it was always ready for the next inevitable victim. Perhaps not the brightest spot in Skyrim's history, eh? Not just any dragon scales, heart scales. Very special. You'll need Calvozine's Fang, of course. Then, if you should happen upon the corpse of a dragon, you should be able to use it to slice off a heart scale or two. Even just one should be enough for me to complete my research. Well now, there's a name I haven't heard in some time. My goodness, it's been years since I've spoken with him. I suppose he's still down in the Midden, but I haven't checked. Are you going to see him? Do tell him hello for me, won't you? Underneath the college. It's not the nicest place, so if you go down there, please do be careful. Take care now. It's always encouraging to see the younger generations embracing education.